Jai.
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
So we are reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, chapter 11, entitled Expansion of Lord Nityananda, verse 33. Navadvipe Pushottama Pandita Mahashay
Navadvipe Purushottama Pandita Mahashay
Nityananda Name Yan Rama Unmadahai
Nityananda Name Yan Rama Unmadahai
Navadvipe Purushottama Pandita Mahashay
Navadvipe Purushottama Pandita Mahashay
Nityananda Name Yan Rama Unmadahai
Nityananda Name Yan Rama Unmadahai
Navadvipe Purushottama Pandita Mahashay
Navadvipe Purushottama Pandita Mahashay
Nityananda Name Yan Rama Unmadahai
Nityananda Name Yan Rama Unmadahai Navadvipe Purushottam Pandita Mahashay
Navadvipe Purushottam Pandita Mahashay
Nityananda Name Yan Rama Unmadahai
Nityananda
Name Yan Rama
Unmadahai
Navadvipe Purushottam Pandita Mahashay
Navadvipe Purushottam Pandita Mahashay
Nityananda Name Yan Rama Unmadahai
Nityananda
Name Yan Rama
Unmadahai Navadvipe Purushottama
Navadvipe Purushottam
Purushottama of Navadvip
Purushottam of Navadvip
Pandita Mahashay
Pandita Mahashay
the extremely learned scholar
a very extremely learned scholar
Nityananda Name
Nityananda
in
Name
the name of Lord Nityananda Prabhu
in the name of Lord Nityananda Prabhu
Yanra
Yanra whose
Maha Unmada
Mahamad
great ecstasy higher becomes translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Hey, did you see this? They changed it to importance.
What?
I've never seen this.
What is it?
You see that instead of purport it says importance.
Importance.
The first time I'm seeing
Not even that, but even the verse is not translated as the same.
Oh, this is from Vedabase.
Yeah. What about you?
It's also Vedabase.
As it says, in, for example, the translation.
Vedabase.io.
What?
It's not in the same order. Like, anyway, go on.
Let me change the language. Let's see if that makes a difference.
Maybe you have translation.
Yeah.
No, that's
okay,
fine.
I changed it. Okay, now it's okay. Okay, now it's okay. It's like what
Yeah.
happened?
But that's the reason. Yeah. Anyway.
But it's still okay. Maybe purpose, not purport. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation: Purushottam Pandit, a resident of Navadvip, was the eighth Gopal. he would become almost mad as soon as he heard the holy name of Nityanand Prabhu. Purport. It is stated in Chaitanya Bhagavat that Purushottam Pandit was born in Navadvip and was a great devotee of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. As one of the 12 Gopalas, his former name was Stoka Krishna. Translation. Purushottam Pandit, a resident of Navadvip, was the eighth Gopal. He would become almost mad as soon as he heard the holy name of Lord Nityananda Prabhu or Nityananda Prabhu. Omakyanatamiradasya Gyananjanashalakaya Chakshuruniritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manohisham Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadhamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamayam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakramritam Shah He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhuga eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavata Prana, Srimad Bhagavata Prabhu, Kalidvanto Raditya, Shri Krishna Parivartita, Paramananda Pathaya, Prema Varshi Aksharayate, Sarvada Sarva Sevyaya, Shri Krishna Namostute, Madeka Bando, Matsangit, Matkuru, Mat Mahadhana, Manishtaraka Manbhagya, Mat Anandaya Namostute, Asadu Sadhu To Dain, Atini Chochatakara, Ana munja kadachin mam premna het kanthayostura.
I'm curious, what is this from?
This is from Rupa Goswami, one of the. Wait, so it's 4 verses that glorify the Srimad Bhagavatam, which are generally recited prior to speaking about the Srimad Bhagavatam or of course the Chaitanya Charitamrita as well. It's actually the translation is really nice. Like,
Please say,
sorry.
if you want to share.
Yeah, I'm going to pull it up. Yeah, so this is by Sanatan Goswami, not Rupa Goswami.
Yes.
Sanatan Goswami. So it says, O Srimad Bhagavatam, O nectar churned from the ocean of all Vedic scriptures, you are the most prominent transcendental fruit of the Vedas and are enriched with the jewels of philosophical conclusions. You grant spiritual vision to all people of the world and are the very life breath of the Vaishnava devotees. O Lord, you are the sun which has risen to dispel the darkness of Kali Yuga. Actually, you are Lord Krishna who has returned among us. So it's nice. It talks about how Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna who has come back again. O Srimad Bhagavatam, I offer my respectful obeisances to you. By your recitation, one attains transcendental bliss. Because your syllables shower down pure love of God, you are to be served by everyone, always. For you are the incarnation of Lord Krishna. This is my favorite verse in this. Mat Eka Bandho Mat Sangin. O Srimad Bhagavatam, O my only friend, companion, and teacher, O my great wealth and deliverer, O my good fortune and bliss, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Because it talks about like how Srimad Bhagavatam, Madeka Bandho, only Eka Bandho, it's only one friend that we have, which is the Srimad Bhagavatam. Sadhuto thine. So, O Srimad Bhagavatam, O bestower of saintliness to the unsaintly, O uplifter of the most fallen, please never leave me. Accompanied by pure love of Krishna, please manifest yourself in my heart and my throat.
So powerful.
Yeah. Especially like the last two stanzas. Please never leave me. It's so nice. It's from Sanatan Goswami. It's quoted in one of the. It's called Srimad Bhagavatam Mahima Stotram. From a book called written by Sanatan Goswami, Krishna Stava Leela. These are I'm not sure how many verses are in this, but this is the 412th verse to 416th verse. It's a huge Krishna Stava Leela. Okay, so in this verse, we are talking about a Pandit, Purushottama Pandit, who is a resident of Navadvip. So in this verse, there is a nice, it's called Pandita Mahashaya. Mahashaya is a word which is used, which Prabhupada translates to a very learned scholar. So in Mayapur, we have the Bhaktivedanta Gurukul. So in the Gurukul, all the teachers are addressed as Mahashaya. So all the young Gurukulis, so in the Vedic times, all the young Gurukulis who would learn from their gurus or teachers, they would not call them like gurus or prabhus, they would call them Mahashaya, which refers because the teachers in the olden times were scholars. So to give them the respect, they were given this word as Mahashaya. So Shai is generally referred to as a scholar or a teacher. But Maha means
great.
Very learned, very great. Of course, that's why we have Prabhu and we have Mahaprabhu, who is referred to as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But the word Mahaprabhu is actually also used for various personalities in our tradition. Like, for example, even Vallabhacharya was referred to as Mahaprabhu because of he's not just a master; he's the Maha Master. He's a great personality as amongst all the different Prabhus that we have. So even same with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as well. Even though we refer to him as Mahaprabhu, but actually it's not very unique to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because Mahaprabhu is a commonly used word for learned people in the past. That's why we always have to specify Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that who is he. And actually he's even more than just Mahaprabhu, because Mahaprabhu is just used as personalities, but he's beyond. He's Krishna himself. So Purushottama Pandit, who is born in Navadvip, in the same birthplace, similar birthplace as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But one quality about Purushottama Pandit is that usually we hear in the Chaitanya Leela that any of these personalities, when they hear Krishna's name, they used to get mad. But here it says that he would become almost mad as soon as he heard the name of Nityananda Prabhu. It was he was more attracted towards Nityananda as a personality, and that's why he became one of the 12 Gopalas. I don't know if you remember from the previous verses over the last few weeks, where we've been talking about the different Gopalas. Gopalas are like Gopals, are more like important disciples of Nityananda. Not necessarily, some of them are not even disciples. She looks so beautiful. So the Gopala, these 12 prominent personalities of Nityananda Prabhu, and one of them is this Purushottama Pandit, and there is not actually a lot of description about him in our scriptures. There's not a lot of specifically in the Gaur Leela, but there's a lot of description about who he was in the spiritual world. So as Prabhupada mentions, his former name was Stoka Krishna. So we will read more about Stoka Krishna. But here, Nityanand Prabhu's personality is also brought about because how there were personalities from the Gaura Leela who became mad almost hearing about Nityananda. So we will talk more about that as well. So Lord Nityananda and Chaitanya, of course, they're the ocean of mercy. They have come just to give the love of Godhead and, of course, awaken all of us to to our real spiritual identity of who we are, and of course our connection with Krishna. So Prabhupada mentions in one of the purports, Lord Krishna is very eager to bestow his mercy upon the conditioned souls who are uselessly struggling with the Lord's illusionary energy Maya. The conditioned soul struggles for happiness through sense gratification and for knowledge through mental speculation. Both processes ultimately bring him to morose and hopeless condition. If the conditioned soul surrenders to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna and thus acquires even a trace of his causeless mercy, the whole situation is changed, and the living entity can begin his real life of bliss and knowledge. So the whole surrendering process is what Prabhupada talks about throughout his different purports, his books, his translations, and of course his teachings. And it's not just to Krishna. So Purushottama Pandit actually achieved perfection through surrendering onto the lotus feet of Nityananda and to who was his guru. So for us, the lotus feet of our spiritual master are ultimately our only shelter that we have to take, because the lotus feet of Krishna, even though it looks easily achievable, it's so difficult. You see in so many different scriptures, you have various sadhus and saints who are trying to get a toenail of the lotus feet of the Lord. Forget even the lotus feet of the Lord. And then, of course, you have different descriptions where it says that let me become the grass in the spiritual world where the Lord's feet touches upon us. So if those great saints are talking about like a toenail and becoming a grass, for us it's almost impossible to achieve the lotus feet of the Lord himself. Therefore, we go to the others who are more merciful, which is Nityananda, which is our gurus, which is Srila Prabhupada. So, their lotus feet should be our immediate goal and objective. And through them, of course, we achieve the lotus feet of Krishna someday, hopefully. But at least an achievable target is our spiritual masters, Srila Prabhupada and Nityananda. Maybe achievable, I don't know, it's up to them. So, who are these 12 Gopals and why are they referred to as Gopals and what's special about them? So Gopal, as we know, is the cowherd boys. Gopal or Go referred to as cows, and Pal means ones who take care of the cows. So they are the ones who they're metaphorically called Gopals, but at the same time, they are the um, in the Gopals of Krishna are known as the Priya Sakhas, the very close Sakhas of friends of Krishna. So just like how you have Ashtasakhi, the 8 Sakhis who are very dear to Radha or more to Krishna as well. Same way, even there are Gopals who are very dear to Krishna. So one thing nice in the Sanskrit language is that you have different designations of friends. In English, for example, if you want to refer to someone as a friend, it's it's difficult to know. Like for example, if I'm introducing Ekanath Prabhu, he's my friend, but it's difficult to know, is Ekanath Prabhu my close friend? Is he just a friend? Is he what sort of a friend is he? But in Sanskrit, you'll be more specific. Like you have Bandhu, you have Sakha, you have Suhurit. Like Krishna says in the Gita, Suhurit Sarva Bhutanam. So you have different levels of friendship that you can describe amongst how you introduce people. So same way over here, Gopal, is a Sakha, but at the same time, they are Priya Sakhas. They are the most dear Sakhas that come into place, or that way. So Stoka Krishna was one of them. So these are actually described in Gaur Ganodesha Dipika, basically along with their Vrindavan counterparts on who exactly they are. But again, a very limited information on who really is. So instead of Purushottama Pandit, who we have very little information about, we will talk about who he is in the spiritual world. Stoka Krishna. So Stoka means small or little. And Krishna means Krishna, who is blackish or the most attractive. So, because Stoka Krishna would look very similar to Krishna, but in a smaller form, and that's why he was given the title of Stoka Krishna. So, direct translation: a beloved friend who resembles Krishna slightly in complexion and qualities, but is younger and is smaller. So that was Stoka Krishna from the spiritual world, and of course he was very intimate. And there are a few places in the Srimad Bhagavatam where Stoka Krishna is referred to. Like one of the places where he referred to is when Lord Brahma, uh, after the whole Brahma Vimohan Leela, where Brahma gets bewildered and Krishna plays with him. So when that pastime is happening, so one of the forms that Krishna replaces, or actually one of the people that Brahma kidnaps is Stoka Krishna. So Brahma kidnaps him, and Krishna replaces himself as Stoka Krishna. So that is the reference that is given. But of course, uh, uh, Brahma comes back and he prays. There is a nice verse in the Bhagavatam which says, Aho Bhagyam, Nanda Gopa Vrijakasham, Yan Mitram Parmanandam, Purnam Brahma Sanatanam. That Aho Bhagyam, like Bhagya means fortunate. Like so fortunate are who? Are these residents of Vrindavan. Nanda Gopa Vrijakasham, that the Gopa boys, Vrijakasham of Vrindavan, Yan Mitram Paramanandam, who have become the friends, Mitra. So, Mitra is another Sanskrit translation to a friend that is used. Paramananda, Purna Brahma Sanatanam, that they're so fortunate that they get to associate with Mitram, who is the friend, Parama Anandam, who is the supreme bliss, Purnam Brahma, the absolute truth, who is Krishna. So, who are these fortunate residents? That Krishna himself has become their friend. So, Stoka Krishna is one such fortunate personalities because Krishna has become his friend. So, in this same section, there is the section which says, among them were Sridham, Subala, Stoka Krishna, and others. So, there's a reference of Stoka Krishna that is given in this particular instance. And then another reference is made during the killing of the demon Aghasura. So when Aghasura was being killed, before that, Stoka Krishna was the one that got into his mouth, who attracted him all of it. So Stoka Krishna also got bewildered and he went into the mouth. But Stoka Krishna had another responsibility for Krishna. So I will read. This section is so nice. It's a bit it's a bit, the translation is a bit long, but we will read it. All the boys would be differently engaged. So it's nice. Many times we talk about Krishna and Radha's pastimes, and we talk about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes, but very rarely we talk about Krishna and the boys, about what they used to do.
This is from which book?
Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, from the chapter 12, 10th canto, the killing of the demon Aghasura. Okay. It's a translation to the verse, it's not even the purport. Okay. So I'll read out the translation. All the boys would be differently engaged. Some boys blew the flutes, and others blew bugles made of horn. Bugles. Some imitated the buzzing of the bumblebees, and others imitated the voice of the cuckoo. Like it's nice to create a story picture from what is happening. So someone's blowing the flute, someone's blowing the horn, someone's imitating the bumblebees, someone's imitating the voice of a cuckoo. Some boys imitated flying birds by running after birds' shadows on the ground. Some imitated the beautiful movements and attractive postures of the swan.
Wow.
Some sat down with the ducks, sitting silently, and others imitated the dancing of the peacocks. Some boys attracted young monkeys in the trees. Some jumped into the trees, imitating the monkeys. Some made faces as the monkeys were accustomed to do, and others jumped from one branch to another. Some boys went to the waterfalls and crossed over the river, jumping with the frogs. And when they saw their own reflections in the water, they would laugh. They would also condemn the sounds of their own echoes. In this way, all the cowherd boys used to play with Krishna, who is the source of Brahman influence for Gyanis, desiring to merge into the effulgence, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead for devotees who have accepted eternal servitorship, and who for ordinary persons is but another ordinary child. The cowherd boys, having accumulated the results of pious activities for many lives, were able to associate in this way with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. How can one explain their great fortune? So imagine like talking about this to someone, who is your God, and who are his friends and associates. Like the friends and associates are imitating peacocks, are imitating ducks. Like what is going on? It's that's why it says aho bhagyam. Like so, in one of the pastimes, Surya and Chandra, the sun god and the moon god, they were watching what was going on, and they were confused that how is this the supreme god Krishna? Like it doesn't make sense. Like look at what he's doing. Like he's eating flowers, he's just living rolling on the grass. So Surya and Chandra, they said we want to test, we want to see what's going on. So Surya and Chandra came down to when Krishna was performing his pastimes with the cowherd boys, and they took the form of these cowherd boys. Because of course Surya and Chandra are usually very decorated. They're from the heavenly planets, so they're very powerful personalities. So when they came down to play with the boys, um, the boys were playing a game. So they formed a circle, and what happens is you have to bend down, and the next person has to jump over you, and that's how they were playing the game. So Surya and Chandra came down as Gopal boys, and the other boys were like, "Come, come! What are you doing? Play with us! Play with us!" And uh, so it's described that one of the boys by mistake touched Surya, and he was hot completely. And he's like, what are you doing? Like, why are you so hot? And the same way with Chandra. Chandra was very cold. So the boys touched them by mistake, and like, we can't jump over you. Like, you're too cold and hot. We will burn ourselves. But anyway, so it was, they somehow became a part of the game, and it was their turn to jump over Krishna. And when they came in right behind Krishna, and it was their turn to jump, and they were like, "No, he's the supreme personality of Godhead. How can we jump over him? We're gonna go to hell if we do this." And all the boys from behind are like, "Don't spoil the game, like just jump, just jump. What are you doing?" And they were like, "No, we can't do this." And they were ruining the game at that particular moment. And eventually they ran away. They did not jump over Krishna. They just ran as far as they could, so no one could catch them. Like we got stuck in the wrong place. So this is what is described. So the mood that the Gopal or the cowherd boys have is very different from what the demigods and all the other personalities have. Like no one can really imitate the boys, and everyone was scared to behave with Krishna in this way. It's the same thing like even the gopis when Narad Muni was coming and asking for their dust. He went to so many personalities, but nobody gave them the dust because Krishna had a headache and he wanted to get rid of it. Only the gopis gave it. And then Narad Muni asked them, like, aren't you afraid? Like, you're going to go to hell because you're giving your uh, dust of your feet for Krishna's head. Uh, what are you doing? But they were not afraid. They said, even if we have to go to the hell, as long as Krishna's headache is gone, we don't care. So that should be our real mood. We don't care wherever we go, as long as Krishna is satisfied. And that was with these Stoka Krishna as well. So Stoka Krishna's responsibility. Let me see if I can read it out exactly. Uh, yeah. So Stoka Krishna is included among those who take turns holding Krishna's flute and stick, tending the calves, and joining in laughter at Krishna's jokes. So these were all Stoka Krishna's responsibilities. So he had to hold Krishna's flute, he had to hold Krishna's stick, of course, tend the calves specifically, and join in Krishna's and laughter at Krishna's joke. So this was also whenever Krishna would crack a joke, it was a responsibility of the boys to laugh. Hopefully the jokes were funny. That's not described. But even if they weren't, they were supposed to laugh. So Stoka Krishna was one such personality, like he would laugh. And of course, it's also described in another place where he would participate in Krishna's forest games, which include racing, wrestling, mock fights, and sports in Yamuna waters.
Wow.
He would also decorate Krishna with forest flowers, making garlands and serving lunch under the banyan trees. Stoka Krishna had a lot of responsibilities. He was a very busy man. uh, yeah, so decorating Krishna with forest flowers. So one of the names of Krishna is Vanamali, one who likes. So Krishna actually doesn't like very grand flowers and garlands. He likes the forest flowers, the ones that you pick up from the grass, from the trees. In the many of the temples in India, they don't offer to the Lord flowers which are not nice smelling, which are not royal. They only offer like roses and like beautiful, beautiful. Even like the marigold flowers, the yellow and the orange. Even those are considered to be like low class for Krishna, because marigold are actually not the best of the flowers, because the smell is okay, like it's not that good smelling. Like the real smells are from the roses and from the tulips or maybe the lotus, and these are like the grand flowers. The marigold is like low class. But even lower than marigold is the forest flowers, because they don't even have names. They're just like wild flowers picked up from different flowers. But Krishna actually likes those wild flowers because it replicates the forest. He even used to eat them. Um, they used to play with Krishna. Instead of giving him food, they would give him flowers and they would mock him. Like, here, this is what you have to eat. So, yeah, it's different places. So, as much as we like to give royal garlands for the Lord, but in reality, Krishna likes forest flowers. So, if we just pick up stuff from the street and offer it to the Lord, he likes it. Of course, hopefully, he doesn't have any ants.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's even described in one of the places that he used to assist arranging small services for Radharani and other gopis when Krishna desires to meet them. So he was like the secret companion who used to arrange for secret meetings. So he used to arrange small services for Radharani and other gopis whenever Krishna desired to meet him. So Krishna would tell Stoka Krishna that I want to meet, please arrange. And then he would be like the middleman to organize it between Radha and Krishna. There's this Raghunath Das Goswami has this stava, which is also the prayers, which is known as Vraj Vilas Stava. So in the 38th verse of that, there is a mention of Stoka Krishna. O Stoka Krishna, O dear friend of my Lord, may your playful laughter and service forever be my guide. So, Raghunath Das Goswami is praying to Stoka Krishna that, oh my dear friend, oh dear friend of my Lord, may your playful laughter and service forever be my guide. So, there's two things that we can learn from Stoka Krishna is how his playful laughter and his service for Krishna is something that Raghunath Das Goswami prays to imbibe some way or the other. So that's something that we can learn from Stoka Krishna. So while reading about Stoka Krishna, I also went through this a bit of uh, this Vraja Vilas Stava. It's actually so nice because it's talking about different pastimes of Krishna's playhood, childhood pastimes. So of course, Stoka Krishna comes in Aghasura, comes in Brahma Vimohan Leela. It also comes in Denakasura Vadha when the Balaram killed the ass demon. Stoka Krishna and his friends joyfully cheered and sang Krishna's glories afterward. So there's like a little bit of description over there on Stoka Krishna joyfully cheering when Balaram killed the ass demon. There is also a mention when there was in the 10th canto, 13th chapter, where there is the forest pastimes, the picnics of Krishna. So Stoka Krishna would sit near Krishna, sharing with him morsels of yogurt and fruit, and making Krishna laugh by his jokes. So Stoka Krishna was also a person not just laughing at Krishna's jokes, but he would also crack jokes. So he should be our guide. Uh, of course, he's a Priya Sakha, but at the same time, his jokes Krishna liked. So hopefully someday we can also joke where Krishna laughs at our jokes. We should have this. You have these joke books the Karmis create. We should try and find out what the jokes the boys would create and create like the 108 jokes of the boys of Gopas for Krishna. So someday we will go and we'll just narrate jokes to the Lord. Krishna likes it. Yeah, maybe we should find out what jokes they actually created. So I will end with just some prayers from Raja Vilas Tava by Raghunath Das Goswami. I bow to Vrindavan, to the river Yamuna, to the cowherd men and women, to the gopas and gopis, to all the dust touched by Krishna's feet. May I eternally serve the lotus feet of Sri Radha, the crown of Raja's maidens, together with her beloved Krishna in the company of their dear associates. So this whole Vraj Vilas Stava actually talks about how we have to aspire for service of these Vrajavasis, these Gopa boys and the girls. And for example, it says, let me be reborn as the blade of grass trampled by the gopis' feet. Better that than heavenly pleasure. So he concludes by offering the fruit of the stava, says that whoever recites pastimes of the Gopa boys and Krishna in the residence of Raja ultimately will get the faith and will attain residence in Raja and service to the divine couple. And we offer our prostrate obeisances to all the residents of Vrindavan, including Stoka Krishna. So that's a bit about him. Anything you want to contribute? Questions?
I like to know how old they was at that time. Like,
Actually, there's not.
if you have any ideas, maybe
but these were below 5 because
below 5.
When Gopashtami happens, Krishna starts to tend the cows instead of the calves.
Yeah.
But here it's talking about the calves.
Okay.
So it was below 5.
Below 5.
It was below 5.
They were very...
Cows, I think they start taking care of cows at 5. No?
Yes, 5. Yeah. Gopashtami is the day when Krishna becomes a grown man. Our grown boy rather.
Okay.
He gets to take care of the cows instead of the calves.
Yeah.
So there are descriptions where it says that on Gopashtami is when he turns 5, or in the sense where he's become older than 5.
Yeah.
But here in all the Gopa boys, he's below 5. So
I just like wondering because I'm like, okay, I want to do the same, you know. I want to play like this with devotees, but I'm like, maybe we are too old now. so
sometimes when you see kids, they laugh and cry about anything. The lamest of the jokes. And especially as a parent, sometimes you see like the child, he will come up with the most stupidest thing, the most dumb joke, and you have to laugh at it. It's the same thing with the Lord. Sometimes it's good to be a child.
Another question?
Yes, sure.
So you say we Raghunath Das Goswami is aspiring to become a servant of the Rajavasis and to enter into their association as a servant. And we see all these pastimes where the crowd boys are laughing, and also the mood of Vrindavan where it's forest life and it's like village life and it's all centered around Krishna. So my question is, how in ISKCON do we become qualified or not? What is the link between what we're doing in ISKCON and this? Because it's completely different. Here we're trying to establish worldwide movement. We have sometimes administrative work. It's like completely different. So what's the link between the two?
That's an interesting question. Actually, Prabhupada was asked this question at many occasions. Because many times, if you see in the not movements, but other Babajis in Vrindavan and different places, sometimes they would give more specific instructions to devotees on who they eternally are in the spiritual world, and they would give them more openness towards the spiritual pastimes. But Prabhupada actually warned us, saying that we are not in the rights. Um uh, we are not purified enough to be able to understand or get into these pastimes of Vrindavan, specifically the Rasa Leela and the pastimes of Radha and Krishna in specific. Like, even for example, our worship that we have of Radha and Krishna, the way we decorate them is actually not so much as how Krishna and Radha would actually be decorated. Prabhupada mentions in the deity worship standards that our decoration for Radha and Krishna are actually more for Lakshmi and Narayan, because Lakshmi and Narayan are like the kings. So you dress them up in crowns, in expensive jewelry, and very grand clothes as we wear for the deities. So actually, Radha and Krishna don't wear very grand ornaments. They don't wear very grand clothes. So for us to decorate them in this way is actually more for Prabhupada specifically mentions Lakshmi and Narayan. We are imitating worship of Lakshmi and Narayan. Why? Because Prabhupada says that we are not purified enough, and therefore we need to pray. We need to purify ourselves first to understand with awe and reverence. Our mood is first. So it's the same thing like um, when we have friends, when we start to make friends, first when we make friends, we are, very formal with them. We are like, would you like some water? Would you like this? Would you like to come to my house? Like, we are very formal with a friend we are just making. But eventually, over the months, the years, of course, depending on the relationship you have with that person also, then it goes beyond awe and reverence. You can like beat the person. That person doesn't even need to ask you to come to your house. They can just walk in. They don't need to ask to use your phone to, like anything. Like, they treat your things as their own. So, it's not that the respect element has gone away, but it's beyond the awe and reverence. It's like the stage where you develop, uh, you know, where you have a trust within yourself, where you have the comfort within yourselves. So Radha Krishna's pastimes are something exactly like this. Like, for us, we cannot immediately imitate with like, imagine like you have just met someone, I don't know, and someone who just came to the classes in the temple, and is suddenly trying to be your best friend, Prabhu, can I use your phone? And not even asking sometimes, Prabhu, I want to make a call, and he just takes your phone and uses it like, excuse me, like, who are you? The same thing with the Lord. Like, if we suddenly start imitating, it takes time for us to develop. And at the same time, eventually, each of us have our different moods with the Lord, our different relationships that we have with the Lord. So we cannot artificially imitate. Maybe some of us are not even more of Golok Vrindavan. Maybe some of us are Vaikuntha, are more Ram devotees, more of God Nitai, more of Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra. Like everyone will eventually have their liking. Not just liking that I like Jagannath Baladev, but it's not just liking. It's that eternal relationship, yeah, which we cannot artificially imitate. And even if hopefully someday we can pray that we realize this eternal mood, but Prabhupada said it will take us lifetimes. I mean, Prabhupada in many occasions said that most of my disciples are going to be reborn because to be purified, to actually go to the spiritual world is challenging. That's why it said that those who actually take up deity worship, they're the ones who are directly associating with the Lord, who are actually already taking the step. Because there is also another description in one of the scriptures that if we are qualified to go back to the spiritual world, let's assume, we take the holy name, we are purified enough, our spiritual master has been merciful on us, Krishna has been merciful on us, we are qualified, okay, our entrance to the spiritual abode is open. But there is described that there is actually another planet where we will go to get the training to go to the spiritual world. It's not that we can directly go. So ISKCON is more like a platform, which is the step one. ISKCON is the only step. Prabhupada said he's given us enough. We don't ever need to go beyond it. But it's a slow and gradual process, and it's more on self-realization with the help of Srila Prabhupada and the Gurus. Because Prabhupada, if you see most of his lectures, even in Vrindavan, he's talking about how we are not the body, how we are eternally the soul. Because we have not even gone up the first step. We still so conditioned that we're still thinking ourselves that we are the bodies. So we just have to pray to Srila Prabhupada, pray to Krishna that we ultimately uh, understand it. But Prabhupada's mood at the same time, what we have in ISKCON is we don't care so much about who we want to become in the spiritual world, whether we even want to go to the spiritual world, because our first responsibility is to get everyone else. Like many times Prabhupada would be asked this question, like, you are instructing the faithless. He's like, I don't care if I have to go to hell as long as someone I can help go to the spiritual world. So that's the same way with our mood. Like maybe if Krishna wants us to join his pastimes, we will. If he wants us to remain here, we will. So our aspiration is actually not to go back to the spiritual world, is not to become a part of these paths. Someday, yes, but at the same time, our aspiration is to help others join these pastimes. Ourselves, we can just remain here rotting in the material world. Hopefully, Krishna considers us that way. But our mood, our desire should be that I'm so unqualified that I'm not qualified to enter these pastimes, and that's the real qualification. So we should always think that I am the most unqualified. Krishna will never accept me. The Gopas will never accept me. I'll become like those Surya and Chandra. They come and they run away. Even if we go to the spiritual world, we probably run away. When we see these pastimes. So yeah, we can only hope. We can pray to the Lord, pray to Srila Prabhupada that someday we qualify ourselves to enter into these pastimes of the Gopa boys. Prabhupada said, our goal should be to have kachori with the Lord someday. Because Prabhupada many times mentioned about kachoris, how Krishna liked kachoris. Actually, Prabhupada mentioned in multiple occasions. And whenever he would talk about it, he would be so joyful and blissful, Krishna having kachoris. So that should be a goal. Like someday we can feed the Lord kachoris. Yeah, but again, whatever the Lord desires. So I hope that answers a bit.
That's nice for me to expand. Thank you.
So thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
jai. Chaitanya Charitamrita ki
Jai.
It's
jai.
great. Pavan, Prabhu ki.
Jai.
Very nice.